Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being part of our discussion on empowering the Indian creative economy with artificial intelligence and creative tech, alongside my stellar lineup of panelists today, Khushwant Singh, co-founder and CEO of Intellicflicks Studio, who is reimagining filmmaking with AI, Gitanjali Sehgal, founder of GenVR Research, Pixel to Prompt Queen, redefining how India experiences creativity through technology. Peri, founder Redfire Creations, fueling creativity with strategic vision and ideas that inspire. And Vyom Bhatia, founder of Marty Labs, creatively disrupting content for a variety of brand experiences. Now, as we all are part of the matrix, the AI matrix, you can love it, you can hate it, but you definitely cannot ignore it. I mean, I'm sure my panelist agrees right now. So before I dive into the questions, I have to confess indulgence in seeking a consolidated POV at my own end on our topic of discussion from two very resourceful tools online. The hugely popular and controversial generative artificial intelligence chatbots, ChatGPT, and Grok. So essentially, I asked Grok and ChatGPT, the topic of discussion which we are here for today, the same prompt was given to them. Intriguingly, recommendations from Grok on how the Indian economy can be empowered with creative tech and AI included things like AI dubbing in 100 Indian accents, generative folk music, holographic Ramayana performances in 100 cities, user-generated metaverses, think Decentraland style, but in Sanskrit avatars, a wild moonshot recommendation of completing Satyajit Ray's unfinished script, along with a policy hook suggesting 0% GST on AI-generated cultural exports for the next 5 years. Wow. Amazing, right? ChatGPT, on the other hand, prompted non-specific AI-assisted content creation, digital heritage preservation, and local language interfaces. Rudimentary at best. Which brings me to my first question for my panelists, and I'd like to start with you, Mr. Khushwant. That what should the rules of engagement be with AI when you're viewing it as a tool to nourish your creativity and not look at it as a threat?
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I mean, this question should have been asked to me 2 years ago when we started, Intellicflicks. But we were asked this question when we released the trailer in 2024 Jan, claiming that Intellicflicks will make the world's first full-length feature film. And I think we are set to release it somewhere in Feb end or March. The point is that, our rules of engagement, and the second is that AI is going to define the rules in a huge way. Our take is very simple, that this AI will come to you. It's for us whether we accept it as a friend or keep thinking it like a foe. If we keep thinking it like a foe, its engagement, we'll engage it in a very different way, and we'll lose, we'll not be able to build systems, we'll not be able to build creativity. So we have to start looking at it as a friend and accept that as the standard rule of engagement. I think that's how we need to understand, and once we change that paradigm, obviously then we'll start looking at in that manner. Then ethics and all that will come into play and all that. But this is the first paradigm we need to make a shift.
Could you talk to us a little bit more about Maharaja in Denims and how you made friends with AI to get that on the floor?
Well, I'm neither a techie nor a film guy, nor from the financial world. So my novel, this Maharaja in Denim, is actually a title of my novel, published in 2014, where this youngster keeps getting flashbacks of being Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the 19th century, Sikh kingdom ruler. And he gets flashbacks, and it's juxtaposed between contemporary India and Maharaja Ranjit Singh's tenure term. So my book had been optioned, thrice. First, Ranjit, the actor, the old villain, he wanted to launch his son through that. Then Yuvraj, cricketer, he wanted to get into production. He optioned it. Then Guneet Monga optioned it. But then COVID happened. And that movie never got made. So my co-founder, Gurdeep Pal, he was the vice president incubation Microsoft. So his team had incubated ChatGPT, and he was sitting with me visiting from Seattle. He said, dude, we need to experiment on your novel and don't give it to anyone again. Because the way I understand technology and what we've seen, that in 2 years, AI will be competent to make a full feature film, And that's how Intellicflicks came into being, yeah. And I said, okay, let's go ahead. And I was finishing my tenure as the Information Commissioner, Chief Information Commissioner, Punjab. And so, yeah, I got employment. Yeah, thank you.
That's how AI got you employed back into the system. Uma, could you tell us a little bit more about how do you think AI can foster creativity and how you've been able to do that with your brand?
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. So I think creativity is something takes time. I know many directors and the script writers go on vacation for months and months and write scripts. But with GPT, with the script writing has really tremendous, the cut short of the time. In the same way, previously when we used to do branding, when the branding starts from logo designing, right? We all are aware. So previously for making one logo, we used to take 3 to 4 days for the prompts, like prompted versions, and then go to the client for the approvals, reiterations. It used to take 1 to 2 months for finalizing one brand logo. But now it's really revolutionary. In 1 or 2 hours, we are actually having the 2 to 3 versions of the client's desk, and that's it. It's sorted. So if you are actually using the technology in a right way, it is actually helpful. If you see it as a supporter, if you see it as a companion, if you see it as a friend, yeah, now you can call your AI with pet name also, and it got the emotional intelligence with the latest update. So it can actually emotionally connect with you, and it can understand your persona also now. So what else you need? So even our own staff cannot understand to that level where an AI tool is understanding your requirement. So I would say you just understand the requirement and do it in an ethical way, and it is really helpful.
So essentially asking the right questions and also getting the right responses. Vyom, can you throw some light on it from your end?
I think no one thought that there is going to be whole ass shows in Gujarati or in all these Indic languages that they exist in now, right? But that purely happened because people got to know that they can do something like that. It's like we look at AI as if, oh my God, this thing is going to take our jobs and creatives are no longer going to have jobs. But we keep on forgetting this really important thing that every time technology makes something impossibly easy, the market expands. That's something that we saw with software. That's something we've seen with SaaS. That's something we are seeing happen right now. And people have a tendency of overlooking that and panicking as if our jobs are going away. They're not. They're going to expand. There are going to be languages that we did not know before, and shows are going to be made in those languages, and people are going to binge on those shows. I don't know if my next watch on Netflix might be something in Bhojpuri, even though I don't understand that language. Grok might have said that lip syncing and dubbing might come to use. But at the end of the day, the markets are about to explode in all seriousness. And it's easier to just hang on to alarmist headlines and hope that the world is a bad place, but it's not.
It is a beautiful world with AI. And Gitanjali can expand a little bit more on it.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. So where we come from, or at least I come from, I have a mix of Bollywood in me, and I have seen this tech develop from pixels to prompts, as I say now. And I genuinely feel that creativity is in abundance, everywhere where we see, in individual people, in artists, in forms, in languages, everywhere. But every time there is a technology leap, creativity is scalable then. Every time there is a leap of tech, we've seen abundance of creativity reach everyone. With AI, democratization is at its peak now. So you will have a lot of personalization, you will have localization, you will have how you want to see the content, in what form you want to see the content. That engagement is from the viewer's point of view. From the creator's point of view, the engagement is, honestly, how I say is, in Bollywood mein ek jodi hoti thi, Javed Salman, how people used to do it as a duet. I feel that AI is today your that duet. You need to have that as a co-assistant, co-friend, however you may call it. So the rules of engagement are defined both by which AI tools, which models are you using, and how are you using them? What prompts are you giving? What you really want to? What's your vision about it? So it's really defined, but yes, you need to make it as a friend rather than be scared of it.
I'd like to further add to that, and Gitanjali, this question is for you. You've been deeply entrenched in systemically enabling an all-in-one platform with fully integrated 300 plus AI models for video, image, audio, and 3D solutions. How does a user who comes on your platform narrow down what solution ultimately best suits the outcome they desire?
So first of all, we're very proud that this platform is coming out of India. It's an Indian platform, and it's a creative tech platform. We have more than 300 integrations of various tools. We also have a workflow designer, and we've created agents. My co-founder was a tech lead, Akshay, is sitting here right now. You can raise a hand. So he's from IT Roorkee. And we've had years of experience, and we've put a lot of, more than 2 years developing this. How a user really comes and understands, it's, our platform is very chat-based. So the moment you come in, you need to define what you want. If you just put that I want to create an ad, it will take you to, the kind of tools that you need. For example, like you're saying, I want to create a brand ad for this image, like a Pepsi brand or whatever. And then it will tell you, okay, these are the kind of tools that you need to try and test. Or an agent can actually create that for you. But the definition, the vision, the inputs have to come from you. The direction has to come from you. What tools is a hit and trial? I think that, a lot of creativity and enhancement and empowerment will come actually with trial. So we have two kind of users who come to us. One who are not very clear as to how to use these tools. For them, we have agents where you can just tell them what you want and they will give it to you. But you need to give a very comprehensive prompt, which will give you exactly what you want. And there are second users who are creative professionals, who are graphic artists, who are filmmakers. They've been using different tools. So every model gives you a very different result. Like Kling is known for cinematic. If you have an ideogram, you need a text-based image, you use that. If you are using VO3, then, sound plus action comes very well with VO3. So every model gives you a very different result. And so there is a learning curve in all of them.
Thank you, Gitanjali. My next question for you, Uma, that with your tech background and your diverse experience providing a 360-degree AI-led business solution across brand strategy, AI-driven app, personalized digital experiences powered by LLMs, automated marketing funnels, storytelling, skill mapping, prestige consulting, and political consulting, how can you share how AI can help transform political strategy, especially with regard to predictive modeling of voter behavior, one, and sentiment analysis of public opinion, given the kind of work which you've done in this domain?
I would use the word cutting edge technology here, because when we see the political arena, so bringing one narrative itself takes years. Trust me, if you have to bring the narrative of a candidate or a party, it takes 4 to 5 elections. But with the existing models, the deep research and the kind of data available, because AI is mostly data driven. and the algorithms and the prompting, everything has made accessible. Previously, for example, I'll give you a case study. If you have to know about the candidate being a strategist, we have to strategize based on their persona, traits, and the leadership types, right? So to understand that itself, we used to take 3 to 4 months. We have to go deep, drill down on the ground surveys and the polling booths and everything. But now what happened is with the basic prompts and the we are able to generate certain kind of analysis reports and pretty, due to the tabloids, many of the broadcasters have been digitalized, right? So yeah, it is at point we are able to even identify the sentiment analysis of the voter behaviors and all using the longitudes and latitudes, the geographic locations. So the best case studies now where I come from in Telangana, in Hyderabad we are having a by-election of Jubilee Hills constituency where we have 58 candidates contesting. They are polling on 11th November, just coming. So there actually everybody are saying like it is already one particular candidate is so rooted and it is unanimous when they announced the candidate. Right. I don't want to take the names, but yeah. So they said it is unanimous that no league. But if you see today, the percentage has been diminished by 9%. Yes, and I have seen personally in one of the client previously in 2018 elections in Andhra Pradesh, the MLA got defeated with 1,500 votes due to last mile connectivity is poor. So these are the case studies like that if we bring the technology and if we adapt the upcoming technologies and if you really use effectively the deep research and the kind of algorithms and branding solutions. See, now in our constituencies also, I'm still seeing the people putting brand flexes and, the mic sets to canvassing, road shows and door-to-door campaigns. वो जो होता है ना वो फ्लायर चिपकाते हम यहाँ कैंपेन कर चुके हैं हर घर के दीवार पे and that is unnecessary, no? So you have the list of your voters, already electoral data is there, why don't you do a digital campaign? Right, that could actually save lot of resources. You don't need to cut trees for putting that and you don't need to manufacture the glue, send it on WhatsApp, use technology. So that's what I always promote. Using technology can actually save a lot and reach more. The result is really impactful.
Thank you, Uma, for that. And the fact that you've given away that this is a tool which a lot of people need to be using for canvassing. Dhruv, Marty Labs specializes in unhinged and truly disruptive content solutions. In record time, no less. Is it formulaic or instinctive now to create content that makes you stop scrolling?
I think majority of the hooks that the team writes is based on the idea of sitting in the viewer's shoes, right, and asking ourselves that, hey, what is something that would, one, of course, make the person stop scrolling, but what is something that would keep them from not scrolling down further, right? And we majorly work on metro tier 1 audiences. We have done some work with tier 2 audiences, but what we have, largely understood is that, let's say a brand wants to sell a jacket, right? Then at the end of the day, you could either show a bunch of people shivering and say that, hey, this person is not shivering because this person is wearing a jacket, or you could show 2 women reaching out to the man because he has a jacket and they also want to wear his jacket and show them fight each other, right? So the thing is that,
Brilliant.
yeah, and to be fairly honest, that's instinctive, that's instinctive to think like, what can we put? Like that's what the team back at Marty Labs thinks, like, hey, what can we put that can really make the person actually watch this thing to see what's going to happen in the end. And it's all about creating intrigue and holding that person, just holding their attention. That, hey, hear me out. One more second, if you give me, I can tell you what's going to happen in this. Maybe, right? And that's really it. Like, I think it's a muscle that once a team stretches it constantly, it becomes a very, like a nice skill. So, yeah.
Okay. I mean, speaking of muscle, I'll segue, and it actually segues quite wonderfully into my next question for all of you all. That functional fixating leading to cognitive bias, also known as Einstein effect, is not only common in subject matter experts, human experts, but AI engines. How does one mitigate or override that? Could you?
Yeah, hi. I mean, most of these models, or a lot of models, have cultural bias and they have cognitive biases. So again, I mean, you need to know the art of using AI also. And I think it's wonderful if your prompt engineering is good. So, you need to define your prompt very well to, not create those biases. You also have functionality of negative prompting, which is there in a lot of visual models, where you can just say that, for example, you can say that I do not want a Western model, as a negative prompt. Or I want a particular model in your positive prompt. So you can give references also. Like if I want a particular art form to be included in my art, then I can give like reference of a Madhubini art form. I can also say that, I need a model which is Indian looking. This is my image reference. This is my, this is where culturally significant, points that I need to give in my chat prompt. Which will remove all these biases. Having said so, we also created a very interesting model ourselves out of India called Rupayan, which was highly trained on India data sets. So even in that, if you particularly ask Ma Siddhi Datri, it will give you the image of Ma Siddhi Datri and not one Western looking, Greek god or something like that, goddess. So so cultural biases will get resolved once the data is more trained automatically. But for now, as a visionary or a creator, you need to know what exactly do you want from it. So the direction to the prompt is very important.
Vyom.
Sorry.
No worries. Can you repeat your question?
So my question was that how do you get over the cognitive bias which AI is prone to and human expertise is also prone to? How do you get over it when you are looking for the outcome which you desire?
See, we've made enough ads to know when we ask AI to make a beautiful face, it will do the most horrendous job of creating an alien-looking person who is definitely not human, right? It's something that future models will definitely take into consideration. It's something that has to do a lot more with integrated memory within these existing AI models, right? And the data that they were trained on. But at the end of the day, you have to be really specific about what you want. Otherwise, you're going to get generic outcomes. And you wouldn't be able to figure out why am I getting generic outcomes. Like if you have a bias on what someone might look like, it's only going to be exaggerated with AI, right? You want to be as specific as possible. You want to establish that this person has, a till on the right side of her ear. You want to go as specific as possible. You want to show that, hey, the woman's hair are slightly graying and it looks like she uses a ton of mehendi, right? Mm-hmm. So I think being specific does the job, gets the job done.
And do you feel that the AI also, you need to be so specific that the AI chatbot and the model starts to ask you relevant questions?
Yeah, it does. If you ask a query to ChatGPT, for example, it will ask you two questions. You want me to do this or that? Correct. So when we say option 1 or option 2, then it will ask us again the specification until it understands. So it's two-way, communicative, conservative AI is way. So in the same way, when we are, as you said, like creating some image. For example, see my image on the poster is AI generated actually. So, as
Mine
Vyom
too.
said.
Same here.
So as Vyom said, you have to be specific, and we all are talking about only AI, but it is not just AI. There is the other side of the coin, ML. So being AI, ML and cyber informatics professional, I'm a software engineer. So AI, what you're seeing is the front face and ML is the back end, for example. So the many year iterations, your outputs will be accurate. So the accuracy improves with the training. So when I gave my first session on stage, I was fumbling. And my entry was like, if the light is so huge, and it happened. But over the period of time, it's gone. Because I understood and I got trained and I adjusted myself to the output I wanted. So that is how it happens with AI and ML. And it happened previously also, but we didn't give it a thought. When Indians, we studied software engineering, learned some course, software course, and got visas to the USA. The first complaint on us was not about our work, our communication. Right? We were unable to communicate to them, and we were very bad at understanding the requirement, especially the South Indians, to be precise. So we used to have that introvert kind of thing in front of them. Right? So these situations were faced previously also and addressed very effectively, and now we are so proud that most of the global leadership are Indians. If you speak about the giants of GCCs, proudly we have 170 plus GCCs in Hyderabad itself, and we have Genome Valley full of pharmaceutical companies. We have very great IT corridors. So now the systems have changed with the evolution and the training and the adaptation. So the adaptation is more important to any industry or any specific thing that is evolution. Yeah.
You speak of adaptation, and adaptation also to new technology. Now, Khushwant, when you are working on the film, we spoke earlier about how there are a bunch of platforms and AI tools which you've used to constantly improve and sort of edit and make the cinematics and the scenes better with new models being introduced constantly. How has your journey been working with these models, and what is it that you're currently facing as a challenge which you're hoping to overcome?
So we've been at it for 2 years, and the other day I was in my studio and this young girl she was she was looking at the screen and saying, "Agar मैं little girl लिखूंगी तो तू मुझे Lilliput देगा क्या?" So she has to understand that generating a child is tough, generating a blood scene is tough. So how to work around this? But for us, it's been very interesting because we've been able to mentor the team through my co-founder with the background of AI. He's been able to tell the team that what is the mind of AI and how you will deal it. So everyone, otherwise, that's where Intellicflicks stands apart, because everyone is learning the curve while doing hit and trial. But we've been able to tell our team to engage your mind with the mind of the AI. So that has really helped us bypass all these challenges. And like I always say, if we had picked up a Western movie, we would have done it by now. But we picked up a historical fiction, then we picked up, Maharaja Ranjit Singh. So it went, say, Indian faces, Indian women, the datas are not trained, then Sikh turbans, then beards. So the complication just is, a lot. So we overcame all that, how to handle this. And so, yeah, these are the challenges which have delayed our but the team has kind of got around it, how to figure it out. And we engage with about 10, 20 different models. We got beta access to a lot of models. So also what happens is that, for example, the team gets comfortable with a model. Suddenly they'll tell me this has started misbehaving. So again, we have to mentor them that the data points have changed. Right? So you, with the same prompts, you will not get that. So you will also have to understand the mind. And so data points during our 2-year journey have changed so considerably. So once if you go from VEO1 to 3, it's different, absolutely different. Yeah, so we've been able to understand that, but the delay is because we got stuck with Maharaja and denims. But then it was Maharaja and denims we had to pick. Yeah.
We're looking forward to the film, which is going to be released sometime next year, you said, and it's a 100-minute and a little more feature film. Vyom, this question is for you and for everybody else also. According to a report by Boston Consulting Group that was widely referred to at the WAVE Summit, India's creator economy is already driving more than $350 billion in consumer spending, which is expected to exceed $1 trillion by 2030. We're also seeing a trend where investors see value in creators as disruptive entrepreneurs. Is a tech entrepreneur, therefore, limited today if they are not collaborating with the creator when seeking scale and visibility?
I think any businesses at like a very weird position where if they don't have distribution and they can't really go to market fast enough to consumers, competition is going to stifle them. Competition is going to figure out a way to reach consumers before, right? Assuming that you're a consumer-facing business. But even for B2B organizations, a trend that we've seen is that B2B influencer marketing is now a thing, right? Earlier, like 5 years ago, I think no one even remotely assumed that it would become such thing. That is there. If a tech entrepreneur is assumingly building a product that has to be used by millions of people, they can't put the product out there, wave it across the road and say, hey guys, would you like to use it, and assume that word of mouth will follow. They need distribution, and creators are amazing at distribution. They're amazing at those hooks. They're amazing at capturing attention, and they're amazing at integrating that product with respect to their existing pieces of content, right? So I feel like any tech entrepreneur, I'm not saying that every tech entrepreneur should be a creator. I am saying that, well, you'll have to kind of bend the knee when it comes to distributing the product, that you'll have to go through these marketing channels that everyone so hates for. But it has to be that way.
Understood. Gitanjali, what are your thoughts on that?
So, I feel that creativity and tech have to be hand in hand going forward. And you're right. Today you see, when Perplexity came out of one-man team, and, it's become like $1 billion company already. But in creative tech specifically, the merger of creative and tech has to be there. In our case, we've had, I come from a creative/management background, and my co-founders have been tech. So, and we've also still, we've had in our team, we've actually developed this, the entire product, talking to graphic artists, to post-production artists, to filmmakers, to creators, because they are the end users. So, understanding what they need and how to develop that product going forward. Like, for example, our product has 300 integrations because we understand that, subscription is not easy for everyone to buy these various tools. Then there's a learning curve in every tool, understanding, how it is operated. When in one platform, if you integrate all of it together, then there's so much ease. We created a workflow designer because we understand that the post-production guys do, editing with a node-based. Their workflows are node-based. So we created that workflow designer. We also understand that social media going forward, where brands will need personalization, will have batch processing. So we created batches in that. We have agents which will facilitate in personalization to the next level, and multiple effects with that. So I very proudly say that all three of, can be a user. He's a filmmaker. I'm giving him 300 tools at one go. She's a political advisor and an AI user. She can use it. We have all the language models. Here is a social media guy, a brand. Yeah, absolutely. All of them are my users, and I'm very happy about it. Yeah.
So, that leads me to one of the more intriguing things which we've been discussing also about, is that if all of us are creating content and we've become content creators, then actually who are the users? Because they're coming to your platform to use the tool, and they're coming to each one of you. Who are the users who are actually consuming content?
So it's like if few people are selling rice, who will eat the rice? So there is no answer for this. The question itself contains the answer. If few people are selling rice or wheat, who are the consumers?
Correct.
That's it. So if you are doing the content, I will watch, and if I'm doing, you watch.
But it depends on what sort of rice is being cooked?
Yeah, it's just empowering that, today you can have a creator sitting at Shillong somewhere, there'll be a brand manager sitting in Jaipur who can create. I mean, classic example is Khushwant Singh sir here, who's written a beautiful book, who's been waiting for 5 years for his dream to envision. And today, through AI, he's been empowered so much that he's actually creating it on his own. So who is going to view? I'll view his content, and if he creates a brand ad, all of us will view that as well. So everyone is like, content is generic to everyone. So there'll be all sorts of content. I mean, I am not from Gen Z, but I understand slops. So when you were talking about engagement, I don't know how, but they don't want to stop, I say. They just want to go after every 5 seconds. But that's the way the economy and the world is going.
And that's also the advantage for us as a country to have that kind of human capacity and wealth. Just last notes,
Can I add
takeaway
a
notes.
small
Yes,
point?
yes. One more point. Yes.
Content consumption has grown exponentially over the
Right.
last decade. What happens when everyone loses their jobs? Doom scrolling. So I think like asking if there will be enough users to consume content is like, I'm sure there will be.
Somewhere. Sure. Okay, now, quickly before we wrap up, because I've been hearing pings and tings, what is the one big takeaway from your journey, especially, and what is that one thing which you're most concerned about when it comes to the future of using creative tech and AI?
I mean, I really don't have any concern as such, because once it's there, it'll pan its own journey, that way. But like Gitanjali mentioned, that here I am sitting, which people were talking about creating 100 CR movie, Maharaja and Denim, since it spans 3 eras. We'll be able to complete it in 1/10 of the cost. So technology brings down everything. That's a thumb rule, they say, that is 1/10. And I'm telling you, the rule of engagement and everything, sheer economics is going to decide this, whether you like it or not. The sheer economics is going to push this on its own. Who's going to spend 200 crores on a Bhansali budget, 400 crores on budget, and risk that kind of money today? I mean, we get calls from all OTT channels to take grandeur to a different level and all that. So I don't see a concern at all.
Quickly, Uma, your big takeaway and your one concern.
So big takeaway is like, show up no matter what is what I always believed in. And one concern is like, we are so good at innovating and product manufacturing and delivering, but not in marketing. So if you don't voice out what you are doing, there is no point of doing it. So you'll end up in your own gully. So just bring up, show up, stand up, and voice out. That's it.
I think my takeaway is that AI can allow a kid sitting in a village to become a mega influencer in the span of a few months. And it's like the brand marketing is about to be democratized on a very, very large scale. And it's only going to get better from there. My concern is AI might just automate that part as well. So maybe that kid is going to think, hey, I used AI, I gave it data, now it has automated my job as well.
So my takeaway has been that, creativity when it meets tech is always gives them wings for scalability. With scalability comes personalization, localization, and abundance. We've seen that in various eras, when we had digital films, when we moved from offline to online, when we got into digital cameras, then we got into social networks. So, there was a whole economy that got created. And hence, I feel that with AI also that's going to happen. So that's my big takeaway and or learning. Concern, I don't think there is a concern so much so, except that,
we must put our cultural references, languages, and all those things that make us unique, those emotions, when we are creating that content. It should not stay that vanilla, it's like bullshit in and bullshit out. So it's more that you be so clear about your vision and what you want to really create out of that film, and give as complex and as creative prompts that you can give for your unique desired output. As a matter of fact, I feel that going forward, everyone will be creator, like he said, and everybody will be a consumer going forward. So that's a takeaway.